On this occasion, we will explore the history and cultural significance of the guillotine, a device used for executions during the French Revolution. Its creator, Dr. Joseph-Ignace, the man behind its invention, as well as the design and efficiency of the guillotine, an artifact that had an impact on French society, we will recap the deaths of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette and the question of whether consciousness persists after decapitation. We will delve into incidents and misconceptions surrounding the guillotine, as well as its lasting influence on art, literature, and popular culture. The guillotine claimed the lives of approximately 17,000 people, among them. The intriguing question of how long a person remains conscious after being decapitated by the guillotine has fascinated scientists and spectators for centuries. Dr. Joseph-Ignace Guillotined, a benevolent mind in a morbid context. Dr. Joseph-Ignace Guillotined led a paradoxical life. The man associated with the infamous guillotine was born in France in 1738. Guillotined was a physician whose goal was to alleviate human suffering. Initially, he focused on combating smallpox and even tested Edward Jenner's newly discovered vaccine on his own family. However, he later became involved in politics and proposed the idea of a quick and humane execution method, which ultimately led to the guillotine. Despite his intentions, Guillotined's association with the device overshadowed his medical contributions. He faced rumors that he would die at the hands of the very machine he advocated for, although he passed away in his bed at the age of 75. The guillotine itself was a sophisticated piece of engineering designed to ensure a swift and safe transition from life to death. It was built by Tobias Smith, a German piano maker, with the assistance of Antoine Louis, Secretary of the Academy of Surgery, and French executioner Charles-Henri Sanson. The Macabre Art, an exploration of the design and mechanics of the guillotine. The guillotine undoubtedly enjoyed efficiency and unique design features. The angled blade, dropped from a height of about 2.3 meters, ensured a quick execution lasting around 1/5 of a second. The guillotine was portable and could be disassembled, transported, and reassembled easily. Despite its grim purpose, the guillotine became a symbol of equality during the French Revolution, where both nobles and commoners met the same fate. The guillotine remained the official method of execution in France until 1977, highlighting its lasting impact. The equalizer of status. The guillotine as a democratic dispenser of death. The guillotine became not only a dispenser of death, but also a tool for social commentary. Artist Honoré Daumier, for example, used the guillotine as a symbol to criticize the judicial system and the political establishment of the time. During the Reign of Terror, the guillotine became a terrifying presence as thousands of lives were taken under its cold and indifferent blade. The French Revolution, once filled with ideals of liberty and equality, turned into a gruesome spectacle of death. No one was safe from suspicion and condemnation, and even the nobility, clergy, and fellow revolutionaries fell victim to the guillotine. The Reign of Terror ended with over 16,000 lives lost, serving as a stark reminder of the dangerous duality of revolutions. They can generate ideals, but also unleash violence. The Fallen Crowns, the final waltz of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette. The guillotine was closely tied to the aftermath of the French Revolution and the guillotine executions of Louis XV and Marie Antoinette. The beheadings of the king and queen symbolized the end of an era and the rise of a new republic, shocking other monarchies in Europe. The deaths of royalty shattered the old order and demonstrated that the social contract between rulers and the ruled had been irreversibly broken. Philosopher and writer Edmund Burke lamented their deaths, pointing out the international upheaval caused by the royal executions. The guillotine did not discriminate between royalty and commoners, creating a society where status no longer provided protection against the people's justice. A question that has persisted through the centuries is, how long does consciousness persist after the guillotine falls? Stories and speculations abound, from an anecdote about Charlotte Cordy's alleged reaction after the execution to a doctor's claim of witnessing movement in a decapitated eel. When Charlotte Corday, the assassin of French politician Jean-Paul Marat, was guillotined in 1793, a man named François Legros supposedly lifted her head and slapped both cheeks. Spectators claimed that Corday's face took on an expression of anger and her cheeks flushed. In 1939, editors of the Journal of the American Medical Association questioned this medical account, as the loss of oxygen and blood indicates almost conclusively that conscious processes in the human brain cease almost simultaneously with the cutting off of the head. Life after the fall, the macabre enigma of the guillotine. Contrary to science, there is the claim that a person could remain conscious after being guillotined. While involuntary muscle movements can occur after decapitation, there is no scientific evidence to support the idea of continuous consciousness. Medical knowledge suggests that the rapid drop in blood pressure caused by decapitation would lead to immediate loss of consciousness and subsequent brain death within seconds. Furthermore, the idea that a severed head can retain senses or emotions goes against our understanding of how the nervous system functions. These unsettling stories reveal more about our fascination with the macabre and our desire to grapple with the mysteries of death and consciousness. The transcript also mentions historical figures who faced the guillotine and made defiant or humorous statements before their execution, highlighting some individuals' indomitable spirit in the face of death. The perception that a person could remain alive after decapitation likely stems from incidents where the device malfunctioned, prolonging the execution process. Echoes from the Edge. The farewell speeches of the guillotine. History witnessed incidents during the use of the guillotine as an execution method during the French Revolution. These incidents included cases where the blade did not fully sever the neck, resulting in a second attempt, and reports of blinking eyes and flushed cheeks after decapitation. Despite these chilling mishaps, the guillotine remained the preferred method of execution due to its perceived humanity. Supporters argued that these were isolated incidents that could be rectified through engineering improvements. However, stories of these gruesome errors persisted, perpetuating a sense of horror and reminding those at the mercy of the guillotine that even in the science of death, there was room for error. The spectacle of the guillotine, with its macabre theatre and public fascination, became an integral part of the fabric of Parisian society during those tumultuous years. Even Madame Tussaud found inspiration for her wax sculptures in the victims of the guillotine, further fueling the morbid fascination with death and the guillotine in popular culture. The terrifying slips of the guillotine, tales of chilling mistakes. Executions carried out by the guillotine became a social spectacle that attracted large audiences and fueled people's fascination with the macabre. The executioner, Charles-Henri Sanson, became a paradoxical celebrity whose every move was followed and scrutinized by the public. Newspapers and pamphlets filled with vivid details about the condemned and their imminent fate were popular, allowing the public to relive the spectacle. The guillotine also found its place in literature, art, and cinema, serving as a powerful symbol of fear, justice, and social upheaval. Works such as Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities and Victor Hugo's The Last Day of a Condemned Man incorporated the guillotine as a haunting metaphor for social chaos and fear. In art, the silhouette of the guillotine and its grim function inspired powerful visual metaphors, while in cinema, its striking presence marked many notable works. Even in the realms of comedy and music, the guillotine found unexpected representation, swinging between the macabre and the absurd. Overall, the guillotine left a lasting mark on various forms of cultural expression, reflecting humanity's complex relationship with fear, justice, and the macabre. The Swan Song of the Guillotine. Echoes from the final curtains. The execution of Jomira Gendouvi marked the end of an era as she became the last person executed by the guillotine. The act took place in the Baume prison in Marseille, in the absence of the once crowded spectators. The executioner André Aubrecht, known as France's last executioner, believed in the humanity of the guillotine. However, incidents where the blade failed to swiftly and painlessly sever the neck led to its decline. Gendouvi's crime was deeply intertwined with substance abuse, reflecting changing attitudes towards dangerous substances. France officially abolished the death penalty in 1981, ending the era of the guillotine. The legacy of the guillotine can still be seen in museums and cultural references, reminding us of a brutal and raw period in history. Shadows of the guillotine, in the halls of history and cultural echoes. Despite its association with death and horror, the guillotine has found its way into popular culture, appearing in literature, film, and art. Artists like Banksy have used the guillotine in their works to comment on social injustice, while replicas of the device have been used as macabre props in magic shows and haunted houses. The symbolic meaning of the guillotine still resonates with us, serving as a silent reminder of a disturbing past.